Smart glasses kinda used to be simple. Either they were a pair of camera glasses that took photos or they mirrored your phone screen. But now it's getting more interesting. The INMO AIR3, these run full Android OS, so you can watch videos, multitask, snap photos, standalone, so no phone or cable needed, and about most Android apps work out of the box, which makes it feel more like a PC experience than just a viewer. But what's really interesting is that it still uses waveguides, which is becoming a trend in this space. So it's thinner than the typical mirrored display glasses, not just notifications and not just screen mirroring. Yes, the smart glasses world is expanding fast and it's getting a little confusing, but in a good way. We're seeing different form factors, different levels of functionality, and a lot more crossover. So let me show you what makes the Air 3 stand out and where it fits in this growing ecosystem. These are my first impressions and I'll follow up with a full review after spending more time with the glass. The build is plastic but solid. The sides are a bit bulky, so it does lean into the techy look, but still subtle enough to pass as glasses from the front at a distance. The design isn't invisible tech yet, but it's heading in a more wearable direction. Audio is built in too. While the sound is a bit hollow and best suited for casual use, it is fine for listening to podcasts or quick videos. For a more immersive experience, it's easy to pair your favorite Bluetooth earbuds or headphones. So what I'm most excited about are the displays. As you may have noticed, I'm a fan of the displays here because they use full color waveguides with a resolution of 1920x1080 with a 36-degree FOV. It is a binocular display, meaning each eye gets its own image. That this one offers all this with a wider field of view is pretty wild for waveguide tech right now. It gives you a screen that can feel as wide as 150 inches from a distance while remaining this thin. Of course, it's still 1080p and right in front of your eyes, so it's not comparable to a real TV quality at that size. Keep that in mind. But having all this in a wireless standalone form factor like this one feels like a fair trade-off, especially if you're not just looking to use it for watching movies, but maybe more for productivity. Also built in is a 60 megapixel camera with electronic image stabilization. It's wide angle and meant for POV shots for quick content capture, think video calls or casual vlogging. So you can browse the web, scroll social media, watch Netflix or YouTube, use Google Docs to run messaging apps with a floating screen or screens that move with your head. Yes, it's zero DOF tracking, so they stay fixed in your view rather than anchored in space. But multitasking is possible too, like I could even alt-tab between them with my keyboard, and I was honestly surprised by how well it handled multiple apps. There's even an app called Multiscreen that lets you view 3 windows side by side, so you can resize the windows too, but since the FOV is limited, you do have to turn your head to see everything, but it is nice that there's a multitasking feature. Right now, that feature only works with the smart ring though. I also really like the screen mirror app. It lets you cast screens straight to the glasses, like via AirPlay, so I could cast my MacBook screen onto this and it was usable, readable, which is kind of insane. Now, I won't use this for anything demanding, standalone or while casting, but if you're just casually checking something or want to keep your head up instead of looking down at the screen all day, it is a pretty handy option. Performance on this thing is pretty crazy for the size. Of course, apps don't run as smoothly as on a full laptop, but that's not really expected on a chip like this. Still, being able to hop between tasks in this form factor, it's impressive. Of course, not all apps are perfectly optimized for this kind of display or input style, so some UI elements might feel a bit cramped or awkward depending on the app, but for general content and light productivity, it already does a lot. One more thing to mention, like most smart glasses these days, the Air 3 also comes with a built-in AI assistant, so you can ask it questions, get information, or trigger actions hands-free, and so far it seems to be working well, although I'm not sure what kind of LLM they're using, but I am looking forward to testing it more thoroughly to see how capable it really is. One thing that's becoming clear to me is that the Air 3 isn't made for just one use, it's more flexible than that. For example, I've been using it in the morning while eating breakfast, just watching YouTube or catching up on news on my favorite news app without having to use anything else. It's surprisingly nice for light productivity. One thing I really liked right away is that you can connect any Bluetooth device, so I instantly paired my wireless keyboard and mouse, and the moment I did that, it actually started to feel like an OS. I could even alt-tab like I mentioned before. That's when I started downloading the stuff I needed. My password manager, Gmail, Notion, YouTube, all the usuals, and they worked. Sitting in a cafe, connected to a keyboard and mouse, I was able to get through emails and documents using just the glasses. It's not going to replace a laptop, but if you travel or move around a lot, it gives you a decent workspace that's always with you. You don't need an external device to make it work, which makes the whole setup even more portable. And these are just my use cases. With the full Android system, the possibilities are only limited by your imagination. If there's an app for it on the Play Store, there's a good chance you can do it on here too, while on the go or, well, on your face.